It's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I'm glad you're back with me today. So today we're reading the final chapter in, this book, The Mystery of the Black Hole Mine. So we are on chapter 13 today. You remember that there had been the big cave-in, and so the mine was gone. But Orcus Octavia, his leg was broken, but they were able to get him help. But now DJ knows he'll never be able to get in that mine. But at least he's safe. Chapter 13, A Christmas to Remember. The little house was packed with people from the church and all over Stony Ridge. But DJ looked mostly at the familiar faces. Dad, Mom, Pris, Grandpa, Alfred, his parents, and the Stags. I'm going to turn on my heater. Elmer Kirsten, the newspaper editor, had driven up from Indian Springs and brought his press camera. Nels Abbas was there too. Remember, Nels had saved DJ yesterday. His father had been invited, but he didn't come. DJ was surprised that Nels had accepted. It was the first time DJ had ever seen Nels with a washed face, combed hair, and a clean shirt. DJ guessed that Nels wanted to be there when the story of what happened at the mine was retold, since Nels was the hero. Well, DJ said when everybody urged him, one more time. DJ told the whole story from start to finish, including finding the gold nuggets, the way the gold changed his attitude, right down to the cave-in and Nels rescuing Ora, Octavius, and DJ. When the boy finished, everyone clapped and whistled and shouted, except Mom. Her eyes were misty, and her hands flew about nervously. To cover her deep feelings, she reached towards the coffee table and picked up an old shoebox. She opened the lid and gently lifted out a decorative star. It would fit at the top of the ceiling-high Christmas tree the family had picked that very afternoon. Mom's voice broke. The Lord has done more than we asked or dreamed, she said softly. Having Mr. Crabtree give so many of us that firewood to cut and people to buy it. Enough money for us to have a joyous Christmas and work on into spring. Sam, would you step up on the ladder and place this star so that we'll be reminded of the Star of Bethlehem? Wordlessly, Dad took the ornament and climbed 3 steps of the aluminum ladder. He settled the star into its place. Pris snapped on the switch and the whole tree burst into light. There was a few soft gasps of appreciation. Then Mom continued. Maybe by springtime, the tourists will start coming to walk to see the Black Hole Mine. People will come from all over to see such a sight, you know. Kathy Stagg shook her red golden hair in the habit she had and heard a couple 100,000 people a year go through places like this, like the Empire Mine in the Nevada country. As long as they walk, they won't hurt the environment here. Everybody wins. Isn't that right, DJ? He looked at her and smiled. Everybody except Mr. Octavius. From what Mr. Kirsten tells me, he'll have to stand trial, though he claims he didn't intend to hurt Alfred or me. Or me, Nels said. The newspaper editor snapped 2 pictures in rapid succession before agreeing. Gold fever can sneak up on a man, they say. I guess Ora just got too much and went slightly wacky. But no harm done, as it turns out. Except the mine. Alfred pushed his thick glasses back up in his nose and looked around at everybody. Guess the only one who lost is old crazy Calhoun. But maybe he didn't either. Nobody ever found his gold. Probably never will. That is, if it existed. DJ reached into his pocket and felt only lint at the seam. He'd sold the gold nugget and divided the money with nails as he told Alfred he was going to do. Maybe there's more where Alfred and I found it, DJ said, thinking again that maybe an ancient stream bed had once cruised down Jawbone Ridge. When the snow melted in the spring, he and Alfred would check it out, but not in secret. DJ added, after all, maybe what they say around here is true. Gold is where you find it. But even if there's not another gold nugget on Jawbone Ridge, Grandpa said with a shake of his Irish shillelagh, we-uns turned out to have the best Christmas in a coon's age. That means a long time. DJ listened to the laughter and glanced out the picture window. Snow had been falling for some time. Every bush and tree was softly molded into beautiful white shapes. It looked like a postcard Christmas. Alfred? I'm so sorry. Alfred eased up to the stand beside his friend. You ever see anything so pretty, DJ? No, DJ answered softly. His mind leapt over the small community of Stony Ridge to Jawbone Ridge. Some questions flickered across his mind. Alfred seemed to read DJ's thoughts. What will happen to the Black Hole Mine now? I mean, it's going to either stay buried forever under all that debris, or should it be dug out and reopened? DJ's heart sped up with the thought of the mine being uncovered again. Maybe Crazy Calhoun's original quartz gold vein would be found, or more placer gold would be discovered in the ancient red riverbed, like the 2 nuggets that DJ had picked up. You know, Alfred, maybe we should file a claim on that old stream bed, just to be safe. And the mine area, too. Alfred glanced around and then whispered, I thought you'd given up on filing a claim. I'm not thinking about the gold. I'm thinking more of what Mama Kathy said about the tourism. Can you imagine what would happen to our town if that mine area could be made into a tourist attraction? Alfred's eyes glowed thoughtfully behind his thick glasses as he began to catch the vision. Kathy was right about a couple 100,000 people touring the Empire Mine grounds each year. Of course, that's a state park, and they've got old buildings and things there that the Black Hole Mine doesn't have. But, DJ interrupted, if Stony Ridge only got a fraction of the 200,000 visitors a year, think of what that would add to this whole area. DJ's excitement was growing. Visitors would buy souvenirs, visit stores and shop in towns, eat meals, all sorts of things. We could start a museum. Maybe the lumbermen who lost their jobs could make a living right here without having to move. He let his thoughts run off. What's the matter? DJ asked anxiously. We'd need money to excavate the site. Who would pay to put a hiking trail up to the mine? How would the workers get paid? Maybe they'll volunteer, Alfred said hopefully. They'd get a lot back if it worked. That just might work, Alfred. So maybe we'd better file the claim right away to protect our rights. Then We'd have until the snow melts off the Jawbone Ridge next spring to think about how to do all these things. We? Alfred said softly. Sure. We're friends and share everything, don't we? Slowly, Alfred nodded. Yeah. Then you and I would get the money raised from the tourists' admissions to the mine. DJ grinned. Now who's getting gold fever? Alfred returned the grin. Okay. Anybody? You could write the history of the Black Hole Mine. I'd help you with the research. Mr. Kirsten could print it as a booklet at the school office. Then we'd sell it like a souvenir. Alfred, that's a great idea. That part would be our own money. Maybe enough for college someday. DJ snapped his fingers and grabbed his friend's skinny shoulders. You know what? What? We could set up a historical nonprofit organization so everyone in Stony Ridge would benefit. I read about something like that one time in Mr. Kirsten's newspaper. Or we could even try to get the Black Hole Mine made into a little state park. I'm going to pause for a second. For a second, Alfred hesitated, then answered, That'd be best for everyone, wouldn't it? DJ nodded, feeling very good inside. Silently, he turned to look out the window again and thought about when his mother had been alive, but she was gone. And this was DJ's first Christmas with a new family. Everything changed, it seemed, and yet Christmas didn't. I wonder what it was like that night in Bethlehem, DJ said quietly. Two Moms spoke softly. Sam, do you think everyone would like to join hands and sing Christmas carols? I was just thinking the same thing, Hannah. Come on, folks, gather around. DJ entered the circle, holding Alfred's left hand and Kathy Stagg's right. DJ smiled at them, thinking. Brother Paul's deep bass voice started with and the others joined in. Oh, little town of Bethlehem. DJ sang from a full heart, realizing he had almost missed ever having Christmas because of what he had done in trying to solve the mystery of the Black Hole Mine. But that was past, and this was going to be a Christmas to remember. DJ was sure of it. Across town, unknown to DJ, his favorite school teacher was reading a letter that had arrived with the Christmas cards that afternoon. Soon, DJ and Alfred would again be in great danger because of their next exciting adventure with, oh dear, the ghost of the Moaning Mansion. And that's the end of this book. I hope you liked that one, and we'll see what the next one's about. I want to pray blessings on you and yours, in your house and out of your house, in the day and the night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming, keep a story in your heart. I love you. Good night.